The Las Vegas Raiders have finally released their depth chart ahead of this Chargers game on Sunday. This is going to be a very intense AFC West matchup, and hopefully the Raiders get the best of the Chargers. But we're going to check out this depth chart, see what we have learned about the Raiders so far. A lot of recent roster moves have happened. Just as of today, you got Keelan Cole, somebody who was originally released, signing to the practice squad, and also Alex Barr is signing to the practice squad as well. So even though some of these guys, they didn't make the 53-man roster, still going to be useful people for the Raiders. And fortunately for us, someone like Keelan Cole was able to slip through the cracks and return on our practice squad in case we need the guy. Now, we have the offensive depth chart right here. Devontae Adams, obviously your starting wide receiver, along with Hunter Renfrow on the opposite side. It's going to be interesting to see when we're only in two wide receiver sets. Is it going to be Hunter Renfrow out there? I mean, if I was Josh McDaniels, I'd definitely have Hunter Renfrow out there instead of Mac Hollins, whether or not if we're in the I formation or whatnot, just two wide receivers. I'm going to keep Hunter Renfrow out there. So we'll see what happens there. Mac Hollins is probably going to be that third wide receiver. He's kind of been ahead in this whole entire position battle throughout preseason, throughout camp. Unfortunately, you got DJ Turner and also Tyron Johnson making the list. It's interesting to see Tyron Johnson sort of lower on the list, kind of the lowest spot in this wide receiver room at the depth chart. Now, interesting thing and something I've been worried about is Hunter Renfrow. Why is this guy doing punt returns? You see Hunter Renfrow listed here as the starting punt returner. DJ Turner is behind him. I would like to see DJ Turner be the punt returner. Let's hope that he's able to beat out Hunter Renfrow. Not beat out, obviously, because Hunter Renfrow is really talented, but hey, why not we just save Hunter Renfrow's body, let DJ Turner get some reps there at punt return. Then you got Amir Abdullah at the kick return duty, so that'll be interesting to see. Hey, by the way, we've been getting almost 1,000 likes every video. Like this video if you haven't already, and let me know what number like you are. I want to see what number you're at right now. But back to this depth chart. So wide receivers are pretty much established, pretty much what we figured. Interesting to see though, Tyron Johnson lower than DJ Turner at this wide receiver depth chart position. Then you got Colt Miller, obviously your starting left tackle. Simpson starting at left guard right now. We have heard some word that Lester Cotton Sr. wasn't on the practice field. Now we don't know anything about injuries for sure, but if he's not ready to go at guard, Dylan Parham is going to slide over and be the right guard for the Raiders against the Chargers this upcoming week. And Jermaine Illuminor is ahead of Thayer Munford. We know Munford came back at right tackle, started practicing, coming back from injury, missed some time, but Illuminor, because he's been there, he's been consistent, he's been healthy. This guy is ahead of the rookie Thayer Munford at this right tackle position on the depth chart. And then you have obviously the running backs. Very important position here. We know Josh Jacobs is the number one guy. He's the number one running back on our team and might be one of the best offensive players, on our team straight up. But Brandon Bolden, the number two back. Interesting to see how this shakes out, with the Drake release and all this news that happened recently. Zamir White listed as the fourth running back on this list. I don't know. I wonder how that's actually going to shake out, because Brandon Bolden and Amir Abdullah listed at second and third on this running back room list. To me, these guys are more third down backs, pass catching backs. So maybe Zamir White is the guy who's actually going to spell Josh Jacobs on those inside runs, right? On those kind of heavier formations. And then on defense, we don't have the sub defense here in this depth chart. It's going to be interesting to see in the sub defense, do we have Divine Diablo and Perryman, or is it going to be Jayon Brown and Perryman, or which combination are we going to roll with here? Right now, we don't know for sure what's happening there, but they're all listed at starters when we're in our base defense. And then you have Bilal Nichols and Andrew Billings as the starters at defensive tackles. Now that's very interesting, because you would originally assume that Jonathan Hankins would be the starter. We know he's been on the PUP list for some time, so perhaps he's not going to be the guy there. And then obviously Rock Ya-Sin, Nate Hobbs, starting cornerbacks, Anthony Averett, kind of backing up Rock Ya-Sin here according to this depth chart. Going to be interesting to see who's going to be the nickel cornerback, in the slot. Is it going to be Nate Hobbs like it was last year, or have things changed and maybe Averett's going to be working in the slot? I'm going to be interested to see how this shakes out. But according to this depth chart here, in terms of, what we have in our base defense, there are no surprises here other than the Andrew Billings instead of Jonathan Hankins. But Bilal Nichols, we have not heard much information about this guy. He was also also on the PUP list, and really, we didn't see him do any preseason reps, unlike some of these other players who are going to be straight up starters on our team. So the question is this guy really ready? Is this guy really number one? Or are we going to surprise some people and maybe have somebody else start in the place of Bilal Nichols, just because you have not heard much of him coming out of camp? Yes, he's been there. He's been off the PUP list as of late, but you still haven't heard much in general. One thing interesting is you have Cleland Farrell ahead of Malcolm Kuntz. That's kind of a surprise because Farrell has been a little bit out of the mix, and Malcolm Kuntz had a really good preseason. But for the coaching staff, it seems like they value Cleland Farrell, and hopefully we can get something out of this 4th overall pick. Let me know what you think about this depth chart heading into week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.